If you're new to growing cannabis, you might not know whether your seedlings are thriving or struggling. In this video, I'll show you what healthy seedlings should look like, as well as reveal some warning signs that you should watch out for. Let's get into it. All right, so here I have 7 healthy seedlings. They're actually on all different days since sprout. Well, not all different, but some are on different days than others. 12, 12, 12 days since sprout, 11, 11, 10, 9 days since sprout. So I did actually try to germinate all these seeds at the same time, but some popped from the medium before others. So that's why they're on different days. But all of them look pretty healthy, except there is one in the corner there, the one that's on day 9, that might be struggling a little bit. We'll get into that here in a minute. But for the ones that are on 12 days since sprout, let's get into some details here. So this one right here is Bubble Gaz by I Can Seeds. Phenomenal growth for day 12, I must say. I am just shocked by the amount of growth. I think it's probably because of the bioflower soil. I've mentioned this in past videos and how well the soil is in regards to aeration. I grew with Fox Farm Ocean Forest soil for so many years. I never got growth like this. So this looks really, really good. It's starting to kind of drill over to the side a little bit. I could kind of put it up for support. Some people put like a toothpick in there and kind of clip it to the side so it grows up straight more. I'm not too worried about it. This is actually going to be transplanted out of this container into something larger here soon. This is a confirmed female plant. I did get DNA sex testing by Farmer Freeman. This one's a confirmed female. Next one up we have this is Skunk Number 1 by Dutch Passion. Really excited to grow this one out. However, this particular one is actually a male. So this one came back as good as it looks. I am gonna have to kill this one off and put it into compost. So rest in peace to this one, but it does look beautiful. The hypocotyl, which is just the stem here that is coming out from the bottom here, is a great length. It's about 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches at the most before the nodes start to come out, before leaves start to come out. That's roughly according to Marijuana Botany. That book, great reference. Definitely pick that up if you haven't. That talks about plant physiology. And so that's one thing I learned about what the size should be for the hypocotyl. This looks perfect. Anything more than that would typically be considered too stretchy. If you get stretchy, leggy ones like that one, they could kind of topple over or grow real weird. That's typically a sign that there's not enough light hitting the plant. But this right here looks perfect. That's exactly where I would like it to see it. Just not happy that it's a male that I gotta kill it off. This next one up here is also a male, unfortunately. This is a collaboration with Swank Genetics and From the Stash. So these are some genetics which we're not really talking too in depth about it. It's our second collaboration with him. So I'll save that for a later date. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll definitely notify you of updates in regards to this project that we have going on here. This one also looks phenomenal. This one I mentioned is on day 11. This is a female Blueberry F5 by DJ Shorts. So really excited to grow this one out. Classic strain, and really excited to see it's a female. Now, there is no discoloration of the leaves. That's another thing when you're looking at the health of a plant. Everything's green. It's not too green though, right? So it's not like a dark forest green. I don't see any curling of the leaves. I don't see any shiny leaves. Those are telltale signs of nitrogen toxicity coming on. And so everything looks good here. And it's also not too light of a shade, right? So if it gets too light and it goes towards yellow, that would indicate that there's a deficiency happening. And that deficiency might be happening not only if there's a lack of nutrition in the medium, but there could be an inhibiting of an uptake of nutrients. So if you have an excess of some nutrients, it could lock out the uptake of other nutrients. That could be a factor, or the pH could be off, right? It could be out of the ideal range. When growing in soil, well, potting mix, I guess you could say. I got crap one time because I called this soil. I should really call it potting soil, I guess. Anyways, when growing in a potting mix like this, typical range is between 6.0 and 7.0 pH is what you want to aim for. A lot of people say 6.5 pH is the sweet spot. If you get into like cocoa, a lot of people go lower than that, 5.5, 5.8 pH. Some people go to 6.2 pH. The rough range is 5.5 to 6.5 pH. So there's a big range there that you can stay in. But pH could be inhibiting nutrient uptake, so definitely want to mention that one. I'm not seeing any issues in regards to that on this one. Next one up here, we got another blueberry. This one unfortunately is a male. This one says super squat, right? So this looks really good. And another thing that could be a contributing factor to this staying squat is something I revealed to my videographer. He learned something new today, which is the light spectrum. So if you get a lot of blue light, and these plants actually were in a different tent and I did have a lot of blue light on them, you could get super squatty plants, and that's a good thing for many people. Other people like more red in the spectrum to get more of a larger plants. They don't mind that stretchier, more internodal spacing. But this one's a male. I'm gonna have to kill this one off. Rest in peace to this one. Next one up here is a skunk number 1. This one is female. So this one's looking pretty good. Day 10, like I mentioned, growth looks all right. I'm not seeing any major issues in this, so I'm happy with how this is looking so far. Just gonna be patient with it and let it do its thing. Last one up here is Icarus wings. This one is a female, and this is the one which looks a little odd, right? It looks a little bit smaller than it should in day 9, in my opinion. We're seeing some leaf curling happening here, and yeah, just a little bit of kind of yellowing on the outer edges of the leaves, and this one's just growing a little funky. Now, this could be genetics. That's another thing. You could have a plant that just stays pretty squat, really a slower grower compared to other plants, and it could be its genetics. A lot of people grow it Chillido GF3 and they're a little concerned. They're like, hey, why is this plant so small compared to my other plants? What's going on with this? Is this bad genetics? Well, some genetics are actually bred to be shorter, squattier, kind of like the Chillido GF3 was. So something to be aware of. Now, I have grown the Icarus wings out before. This is by Prism Labs. I've grown this one out before, and unfortunately, it looks a little bit different this time than it did last time. So I think there might be, this plant might have a little hiccup going on, but I'm gonna be patient with it. I'll be patient with it, and we'll see how this thing turns out. It should be fine. I'm just gonna be patient with it and I think this is gonna bounce back and turn out into a beautiful plant. Let's talk about lighting next. So for seedlings, I actually increased the light distance. That's one thing that my videographer wanted me to do. I had this a lot closer, but he had mentioned, hey, the lighting we got here is kind of interfering with it. So can you raise up that light, lower this light so it looks a little bit distant, I'm sure, on the camera. Usually have it down to about here, and I have it dimmed down to level 2 on the app, and that's getting about 350 ppfd at the top of the plants right there. And for seedlings, what I like to do is 200 to 400 ppfd. Now, a lot of people don't have PAR meters. They can be very expensive, hundreds of dollars for it. Some people use phone apps. There's a phone app that you can get where you can measure the amount of PAR that your plants are getting at the canopy there. But I do use a PAR meter, and I am able to kind of dial things in there. Air circulation, I got just a little light breeze going on here, just over the plant. They're not really getting onto the seedlings real harsh. That's one thing you kind of want to avoid, is having too harsh of wind onto the seedlings there. So I like to have it right above, and there's a little bit of movement on the seedlings. That's all I really aim for. Humidity, let's talk about temperature and humidity next. So for temperature, I aim typically between 78 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit for seedlings. And then as far as humidity, I really track VPD these days. A lot of people do 0.8 kPa for seedlings is what I aim for. Now, when I grow these up into a little bit larger of a plants and they're in the veg stage, I'll go ahead and I'll increase that VPD. So it's a higher number, usually about 1.0 kPa. And that actually makes it a little bit more drier in the environment here. Let's talk about watering seedlings next. Now, a lot of people will just hand water seedlings. I have these in solo cups, which are very commonly used for seedlings. It's very easy to overwater seedlings, and it's really difficult for me to kind of explain the best way to water. It really depends on how moist is your medium to begin, and then when do you add water after that? Well, it's kind of a guessing game. I'm doing something a little bit different here, which makes things a lot easier and eliminates that guessing, which is I have them on a wick system. This is the Trader Grow wick system, and I have holes in the bottom of the cups, so they come in direct contact with the mat. You can actually see the roots coming out of the bottom of the holes, which is really cool to see. Sometimes you can see long enough, the roots will come all the way out onto the mat. Now with this system, it's going to uptake the moisture as it needs it, and you just gotta be very careful that you've got an airier enough medium. I've tried to use Fox Farm Ocean Forest soil with seedlings just like this, and it was a huge fail. There was not enough oxygen in the root zone. This is bioflower soil, which has a lot of cocoa into it, a lot more airier of a medium, and the plants thrive through this system. And so it feels pretty heavy, super moist. It feels like it could be overwatered, but the seedlings are doing just fine. So I want to point that one out. In regards to nutrition, well, with bioflower soil, there's already nutrition in the medium. And I think a lot of you folks are using bagged soil, which has some sort of nutrition to begin. So that makes things a little bit easier. I've just been doing water only onto the tray. I don't have it hooked up to a reservoir right now. It doesn't really need to be. I just basically put a gallon on there, and then it will uptake over the period of several days. It'll uptake that gallon, and then I just put another gallon into the tray. Eventually, as these plants grow bigger, I will hook this up directly to a reservoir, and then I just fill up the reservoir, mix nutrients in the reservoir as needed. But as these are just seedlings, there's already enough nutrition in the potting mix to begin. There's no additional nutrients that I'm adding at this time. Now, some of you might be wondering what unhealthy seedlings look like. Some of the signs are pretty obvious, right? You're gonna see yellowing, you're gonna see stunted growth, you might see excessive leaf curling. Those are all telltale signs that something is wrong and that you need to make adjustments from there. So you definitely wanna watch out for that. Now, one thing I do wanna mention is that I have an email list I'd like you guys to sign up for. That's where I announce releases happening. So special releases will be announced through my email list. Don't rely on social media. They suppress me quite often. So click the link in the description section below to sign up to our email list, and you can be notified when releases happen. I also want to give a shout out to AC Infinity. Thank you so much for sponsoring the video this time around. I'm using all their equipment here in this grow space, from their light, oscillating fans, the tent, the humidifier. All this is AC Infinity. Special thanks to them. And they hook up my viewers with a discount code. You can use code MrGrowIt15. That works on both their website as well as Amazon. Thank you all so much for tuning in this time around. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.